Hey guys, welcome back to Shredcraft RC. I'm Cam, and today I'm kind of showing you guys some progress I'm making on my track car. This is what I call the Manta. It's my RDX conversion. They are currently not for sale. This is just a prototype to have fun. I'm not a business or anything. I'm just kind of sharing my passion for this stuff. So what I've done is I went and I took the stock Vanquish Phoenix transmission standoffs, which are around 63 millimeter, I believe, and then made an ABS plastic battery tray and put it up above the ESC. And I removed the stock RDX battery tray, which is a substantial piece of plastic and quite a bit heavier. I didn't weigh them yet, but I can to get that weight. And while I took all this stuff off, I went ahead and rebuilt the transmission just to check how the idler gears work, because they're plastic. And I just went ahead and put Yokomo metal idler gears in there. Made sure everything was spinning freely. Went ahead and put new bearings. I just put in the Fast Eddy YD2S bearing kit in the transmission and the hubs front and rear. So they're a little sticky right now. They're not as free as they should be, so I need to break those in. Hopefully tonight I'll get this out on the track. But we have the Scale Matsuri coming up in April at Scale Science. It's always a fun yearly event that goes on down there. A bunch of people come in from all around the country, so they always do these little build-offs, which are just fun to see what people come up with. So I think I'm going to focus on the interior because I've never really done kind of scale interior builds. So this is a seat that Mile High RC printed up for me, and then I painted it kind of like animal style themed and then flocked the bottom there. I might need to do a little touch up, but it came out all right. And then I'm working on the mount right now, and this is the top deck for my Manta, and I have it bolted on there just with the servo mount and then a bolt going through. I put a brass sleeve in there so it wouldn't crack the 3D print, and then that's going to mount, that will mount on the top deck like that. I was figuring out positioning, how far forward, because I rebuilt my forged carbon dash here, and this, as I handmade this with a mold and then used a vacuum bag and formed it, but it was kind of bumpy and I did it fast, so now I smoothed it out. It looks a lot better. And then I put this screen on here, which is made by Mile High RC. This is the control box. There's an output wire for a tack that I think I'm going to put here in the center, but I still need to fire everything up and make sure it works. And that dash is going to mount something like that. That's not exact, but I'm also trying to figure out how to cover up the empty space here because track car, so I went ahead and made a paper template. This is gonna go in here, and of course it's not gonna go while I'm trying to show it on camera. Let's remove that. But this is intended to fit in here like that, just to kind of cover the wires. Still allow the servo to move. And I was going to make this out of balsa wood, just like I made this trans tunnel. This is just a thin piece of balsa wood, but I think foam's going to be lighter and kind of quicker to take in and out, so I just traced my template and put that in. So I could maybe just use these use the outside standoff holes here for that to bolt down. Still playing with it. Might be a piece of carbon fiber just because bling factor, match the dash. So I will show you what it looks like when everything's kind of bolted up and I get things mocked up, and then we can fire up the race pack screen here, see if that all works with the throttle and the lights that I already have set up here. But yeah, just some of the updates. I also went ahead and kind of went through the rear suspension. These are the Rev D medium springs, but it's the hard, I think, is the red spring for 900 grams rear weight, and they're nice and soft. But I changed the arm position, took out the bottom pro squat block because I want the most amount of travel with this high motor, and right now it rocks pretty easy. And then on the knuckle, take that out. On the knuckle I went ahead, put a 3mm shim on top of the knuckle, and that's just going to help it roll a little more. And I don't know if it's going to work, so I gotta try that tonight, and I'll give you my thoughts after. But yeah, thought I'd just fill everyone in on the RDX. Some changes, always modifying, always hot rodding, never content with one single setup. So stoked to see how this scale build comes out, and I'll show you what it looks like after that. So here it is. Everything's working. Everything's kind of mocked up there. Looking pretty good. I'm liking that. So hopefully I'll get to take it to the track tonight and give it a test. See how all this extra weight added to the front here makes it work. So I'll give you guys my feedback after some driving clips. Here it is, all strapped up. Dash is in, seats in, covers in. Got the window cut out back here, and then I'm thinking I might go no livery, just so all the details kind of get the attention, and then the body will just be really cool flaky blue that I got going on here, because all of these are just stickers, so they can come off pretty easily, and then I can polish the body and have it be all fresh and clean for the Matsuri. But I'm pretty happy with how the interior is coming together. Now I just got to think of some other kind of scale details, maybe like a radiator vent to the motor, and then on the other side here a vent cut out to go to the fan there on the fledge. So I'm gonna get it to the track tonight, give it some testing, hopefully include those shots here. So there it is, the RDX track car. So I've decided to go no livery. Looking pretty clean, minus all that sticker residue, which I'm gonna polish off. And then bam, still has a livery. So I may do this half and half thing and spice this side up some more. We'll see. And I may keep this side simple. So maybe street car one side, track car other side. Let me know what you guys think. I think that might be kind of a cool idea. So yeah, catch you on the next clip. Alright guys, here's a little progress update. Getting an engine mocked up here. This is the same engine that was in the E36 with the carbon bay. And that's just sitting on this hex screw here, and that's mounted to a carbon plate that I put on top of the upper arm mount for the RDX there. So pretty simple bolt on. The dash bars are going through the dash. Got this cage brazed up. It took a lot of tries. It took a lot of tries just to figure out the right temperature to get these stainless bars to work with the flux and the silver solder. And then that goes in through these standoffs just on the top deck. So it's a nice clean mount. And then back here, I'm working on this duct. Right now it's made out of foam. I'm not sure if I'll make it out of something else. or not, and that's because on the body here I went ahead and built a little duct, and then that goes in and it matches up with this little radiator, not radiator but engine cover. One sec, I'll show you what it looks like on there. I'm gonna have to use two hands for a sec. So as you can see, maybe that duct goes into the fledge fan, so I don't know if that's going to benefit anything or not, but if I can make that look a little better, I think that will go along with kind of the look of the car here. So as it's coming along here, I did drive it on Friday and Saturday, and the car was really dialed, and I did put new tires on the previous week, so I think they finally got scrubbed in enough that the other night this car was driving awesome. Like, just being able to get laps with consistent drivers at the track and just continuing the repetition and kind of following better drivers' lines, and then doing that over and over and over, and not just doing chase lines but also doing lead lines, because I find when I chase, the lead driver usually has the braking points and the line set, so it's easier to kind of get up on them and then just mimic their throttle inputs. So when you drive a lead line, you are the driver that has to make all those calls and decisions and when to transition, and you're also paying attention to the car behind you sometimes kind of subconsciously. It kind of feels like it makes me make mistakes sometimes when I'm in the lead. The way that I had these knuckles set up, the steering just felt so direct. Like anytime I wanted to make an input, the steering just acted how I was assuming it was going to react. So I had like confidence in driving it, so I was able to get closer, and then along those lines, the throttle inputs with the motor just being more subtle instead of so much on and off. You never see real drift cars at a pro level that are on and off throttle constantly, because when you're doing that, you're constantly putting torque into the motor and making minute suspension changes, so it's always creating variable alignments and changes in the car, so it's not going to leave you with a smooth action while you're drifting. So trying to be smooth with the throttle is something I've been conscious about, and just making smaller inputs, and when I'm going to transition, I'll make a smaller liftoff instead of going all the way off onto the drag brake on the motor. I will just kind of hold my finger just above letting the trigger all the way off. I don't know if that makes sense, but it'll help smoothen. I've noticed it smoothens out my inputs, and that's helped a lot, along with just how good the steering feels. Maybe it's the combination of the aluminum bell crank and the aluminum hubs, and then just fine-tuning this geometry on these front arms. It just feels really, really good considering how much weight is up here. Maybe I'll throw it on the scales for the end of this video, but I'm trying to keep everything light but also look good. I did get the handbrake in there, I don't know if I mentioned that, and then I'm putting the throttle light just one bar up here. See how that looks in the car. So yeah, this is the refresh of the Shredcraft Manta Scale RC drift car build. Alright, so it's on the scales here. Just to get an idea, put a battery in just to see. It's really not that bad. Total weight 1346. Of course there's no body on it. So the body is on. 1482. Still not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Definitely can get some of my left to right balance a little better there. I don't know how well this will focus on the GoPro. Can't get too close because it will blur it. But yeah, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So maybe that's why I was driving good. I found that like once you get over 1700 grams, the car is like, it carries more momentum into the corners, of course, because there's more mass floating while you're drifting. So I think keeping it right under 1500 is a pretty safe spot to be. Of course there's still some more weight to go on here, with some of the accessories and maybe cleaning that up, but you know, you always play that balance of performance versus aesthetics. I know, like, even playing Forza or any simulator, it's kind of the same thing. Body kits add weight and big brakes add weight, but they add performance, so it's kind of finding that fine balance of both. I'm making a new windshield banner, and it's going to come down just so you can see that cage, and then I'll work on polishing, cleaning up the rest of this body, and yeah, getting it ready for the Scale Science Spring Potluck Matsuri. So just want to say thanks for watching, guys. I'm really stoked on making these RC drift videos on YouTube here, and give it a thumbs up because that's been helping the channel out a lot. And then also subscribing, all the new subscribers, thanks for checking out this RC drift content. Hope you enjoy it. And yeah, we're coming into 2024 strong, doing a bunch of stuff I haven't done yet, and experimenting and filming it and seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. Yeah, I will catch you guys on the next one and keep you filled in. Stay tuned.